Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Fall. Jersey Joe Archino back here, and we are really not lacking for soccer content right now. You have Copa America, you have Euro 2016, and then today we have the fixtures released for the English Premier League season for the coming up ahead. And really, I think when you look at the Premier League season that's coming up ahead, two men are at the face of it, and they are managers. It's Jose Mourinho and it's Pep Guardiola, two of the most staunchly successful coaches and managers in the entire world. I mean, in my ranking, I have the two of them and Carlo Ancelotti. I think the three of them are just a cut above everybody else. They proved it where with success, not just at one place, but they've been able to carry over success from club to club. Their presence, their vision, their way of looking at things, it is inherently different from everyone else, and it's why they've had so much success at all these places. But to make it even better, I mean, now you bring a club like a Manchester United against Manchester City, where there's already so much rivalry and there's already so much animosity building up whenever they play, and you put these two at the helm of it all, which they have as much animosity for each other as there is. It just makes such great storylines, and it makes us all winners as fans. And I think the first time we will be able to get to see the two of them face off against each other is September 10th, which really is not that far off. The season starts August 13th, 14th, the first set of fixtures, and then September 10th is only a few weeks after that. So right away and early, we'll be able to see the two of them go up against each other. Of course, the first one will be at Old Trafford, and then later in February, in Manchester City will get their kind of get to take their punches against United at Etihad. But first off, it's at Old Trafford, and I think it's a little early right now, but I think the question you have to ask is which club will have a better turnaround with their new manager. We've seen City really have a nice streak of successful seasons. United has been looking for that same success, and obviously the last two have severely been disappointing for Manchester City because of the talent on their roster and the massive expectations. Especially last season, they make record-breaking signings of Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, such a star-studded lineup, but they're not able to get it done. And both of them finished last season with 66 points, City in 4th place, United in 5th place. But I think when you look at it in the Premier League going to next season, the front runners to win the title are the normal ones. Leicester City, who won it last season, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Chelsea obviously had a very down year last year. Liverpool, it's the Jurgen Klopp era. He kind of took over midway through the season, so now he's got his first full season with Liverpool. Antonio Conte coming over and taking over for Chelsea. So really, some of the biggest clubs in the Premier League have new faces, and it's going to take those new faces time to really build and get their clubs to play the way they want to and accept the way that they want things to be done. And I think that's the biggest thing that you have to say right away about Mourinho and about Pep Guardiola is which one can get their team to buy into their system, to get to do what they want them to do first. Man United has already kind of started and gotten the ball rolling because it seems like it's not official, but it seems like it's been reported by some reputable sites that Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be joining Man United, which is a really nice piece for that team, which in United and City as it stands already have tremendously talented rosters. City, I think you still have to give a little bit of an edge when it comes to that. And of course, there's still so many moves and so many players who will be gone from both clubs and so many players who will be brought into both clubs because both managers really haven't really gotten their footprint on it all. We still have a lot of soccer going on internationally. So it's still going to take time, and the clubs will look majorly different in a month than they do now. But I think as it stands at the moment, the talent does weigh a little bit more in City's favor. And I think last season really was the case of City having the talent, but when you have the talent, if those players aren't connected, that talent doesn't mean anything, because certainly that's the case that we saw with them. That's the reason that they walked away with nothing, empty-handed, aside from a Capital One Cup. But let's be honest, Manchester City, with the money that they have, with the money that they spent, they're not in the business of just walking away with a Capital One Cup trophy. They want Premier League titles. They want Champions League trophies. Those are the kinds of things that this club wants to be competing for. But I think it's as good as it gets. It's going to be an arms race between the two of them this summer. United kind of, it already seems like, made the bigger move so far, bringing in Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and certainly Manchester City will be following suit in some way. Paul Pogba's name is linked at everywhere, whether it's Barcelona or Manchester City. I don't know if he will be moving on from Juventus. I think that's kind of the perfect place for him, but certainly he's got a big role in Euros this summer, which might impact it. But there's a lot of variables to go into play here. But I think as it stands, this is it. I mean, this is bringing the Barcelona-Real Madrid effect to the Premier League, which the Premier League already has. I mean, I think if you polled fans in the United States which league that they watch the most, it's definitely the Premier League. I mean, La Liga, outside of Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid, there's not a whole lot of star power and luster with a lot of those clubs. Most people probably would struggle to even name a lot of the clubs outside of those top three. But the Premier League, it is a heavyweight one. It's very favorable. It's easy to find their games, always on NBC, always somewhere, more accessible to people. And this is bringing just as big names as you can at the biggest club. I mean, outside of Real Madrid, Manchester United. I mean, you look at the Forbes list of how much teams are worth. United is right in the top 5 with the Cowboys, the Yankees, Real Madrid. I think they're number 4 as of last year. But it's one of those things where now you have City, you have United, Guardiola at City, you have Mourinho at United. It's just as good as it gets. And right now, at the moment, I think we all are asking that question: which one will come out on top? Which one will outdo the other one? And they really have traded back and forth during their careers. And it's funny. It's one of those things where City got Guardiola first. They kind of, in February, that was kind of announced. And after that, we all knew that Louis van Gaal, his days at United were numbered. He did not have the success that they wanted. It just has never seemed like it was a good fit. I think he's a good manager, but sometimes, even if you're a good manager, it's not a right fit. I don't feel it was ever the right fit there at United for him. And then what happens when City does something big? United's got to do something big as well, so they bring in maybe the biggest rival to Pep Guardiola's success and potential successor, and that is Jose Mourinho. But I think this upcoming season, I'm really glad we get to see it early, and it's going to be very interesting to compare how we see them look in September against each other and how we see them look in February against each other, because it will be completely different. It's going to take time, and I think it's the biggest thing to understand with the new managers. It does take a tremendous deal of time, and especially when you're as demanding as a manager like a Guardiola and like a Mourinho. I think that's sometimes why you've seen them leave. I mean, Guardiola left Barcelona at the top of the world, and I think he kind of understands that when you demand as much and you're as rigorous as he is on his players, sometimes you burn them out and you just need to walk away when you're still on top. And I think certainly that's kind of the case with Mourinho as well. We saw him win the Premier League trophy with Chelsea. The next season it all kind of fell apart, and sometimes the egos get in the way of what matters, but sometimes players just, they're bought in at the initial stages, and then once they get that success, continually asking them to continue to be pushed and continue to have to put in all that hard work, sometimes it just doesn't work anymore. So I think right away it's going to be very favorable. I don't know what the future will be, but I think certainly the future has to be very promising for the fans, because we're going to be able to watch some tremendous stuff. But until then, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino and on Instagram Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll see everybody next time.